I started off in social media marketing 9 years ago.
Okay.
And I think that was also the boom of social media as well. The rise of influencers, the boom of social media, and thankfully I was around that space, and it sparked an interest, and I kept growing, kept learning, and then I found myself, I didn't find myself, I got into Cool FM actually.
Okay.
So I had worked at 2 different places as like a data officer, supply chain manager. I was very in a healthcare company with like a pharmaceutical chain and stuff where I had to track the drug levels, stock inventory, and then I saw this job ad at Cool FM for a head of digital.
Okay.
And I was like, hey, I always do social media, and side note, I sing.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, this might be the first job where I can merge this skill and music and a passion. And I got the job. Thankful for that opportunity, and I was there for 2 years, and I grew in the ranks, and worked with the likes of Ira Star, very first radio interview, and those are really cool moments that when you look back, you're happy that you're in those. I took a picture of Thames on my iPhone 8 or something, and then I saw it on blogs then, and I was just like, oh my god, I'm the one that took this
picture.
But this was prior to, I think this was Mr. Rebel, at the time.
Mr. Rebel time.
Being part of those journeys, you just further establish that, okay, here, this is the space I really want to be in, and I want to merge it with the analytical part. And from there, moved on to Cloud Africa. From Cloud Africa, I worked with Mr. Easy at Empower Africa, Mr. Easy, Joe Boy, lots of artists, and then from there to Sony Music as the digital services and partner manager. And here I am. I'm at ONErpm as the head of label services for West Africa. So it's it was not every year, but it took quite a time to grow through, learn what happened here, learn how to do better here, and learn how to bring all of that together. Pretty exciting journey.
Okay, I was going to ask you a question, but I just need a quick answer. So have you ever had to use standard deviation in any of these roles? Because I know that for statistics, it will give you hell. Yes, using all those things.
I think they were just trying to teach us to be what really
analytical,
analytical. Because you do need that.
You do. So tell me about the artist label relationship. There's been a lot of issues when it comes to artists and labels. If you think back to some of the controversial moments like G Worldwide, Kiss Daniel separation, not very amicable. We also have the more recent Shali Poppy, Dapper management, and I was reading also somewhere, I think Ayo Maf and his management / record label, there were statements out there like old cease and desist type of thing. So what exactly causes a breakdown in this relationship? Because we see a lot of people try to be indie artists, but it seems like you still need a label somewhat. So how can this be better managed?
Okay, I'll quickly tag on what you said last. Artists try to be indie, but the truth is you do need a label structure. I don't know if it's an adage, but never make a big decision when you're hungry.
I think you can take that to the bank.
Never make a huge decision when you are not emotionally stable, when you are biased, when you really need some cash, when you really not saying this is the reason why every artist signs, but I'm just saying taking away, ensuring you have all your wits about you and then some, having other people's wits with you, because it takes a lot to fully digest a contract and understand the future consequences or the future implications. And oftentimes, I will not say all the time, we see that, I did not know that this is what it meant. An artist is going to another record label and you've not finished your term. What are you doing here? Don't you have friends? If you well, there's AI now, so thankfully you can upload that to ChatGPT and it can tell you that's a cool way to even use it. But in a time where we'll blow you, we'll give you 2 million, I don't know, naira, maybe at that time it's a lot of money for that artist, and the person's like, and check, you're signing away 99 years of something, and
in perpetuity. You need to beware of that clause.
And then you go back and someone now you realize 2 million is no longer money, and you've had one song that went viral.
Yeah.
Viral is not always money too. You know, so many complexities, but then you feel, oh, I was cheated. Or again, it can be both sides. The label feels you moved on to somewhere else and there was not, you know, you didn't clear up what you had initially. So with all that's going on, I would say one common line between most of it could be maybe if this person had spent some extra time reading through the contract properly, just know what you're getting into. Or, you know, maybe there was something that wasn't clear and the label was trying to get you into, you know, if you read properly, maybe you would have avoided it. Of course, there are other issues. I will close by saying there's something, there's also a joke where it's like when husband and wife are fighting, you don't come in between.
You don't try to get in between.
Because you don't know, you are not there when they met one another. So the truth is you can never really know to the fullest extent what happened the day they signed that deal. You know, all we see is just social media screenshots. We don't know what happened behind the scenes. So
there's something you said about, you know, the future of maybe music business, how we're going to have distros and a label structure. So do distro companies who offer label services, is there, if you're an unsigned artist, can you, as part of getting distribution, also get label services? And is this based on if the distro company wants or picks an interest in you, or can you pay for it as a subscription, like a service?
No, that's a great question. First off, I would use ONErpm as an example. It's first label service or label services is a part of what makes ONErpm the music distribution company that it is. How do we have a DIY, you know, artists that, you know, are still really young, growing. DIY plus, they've taken a step over 10,000 plus monthly listeners, for example, on Spotify. So hey, we see how your trajectory is going. Then you have a song that does boom 1 million. They were sending you an email like, hey, let's talk business. There's something you can do here, and then label services comes into play. So there's a part where we look through data, which is one of the exciting parts of my job, being able to filter through, okay, this artist is showing some cool prospect, and a lot of times it's not just Spotify, it could be YouTube. How come this artist with no ads has 1 million views in 1 week? Who are you? You know, let's talk. That means there's an audience here for you. Let's make this work better for you, you know. Or it could be an artist with fantastic branding. I would just feel like you just need proper marketing rollout. You have everything else put together. This is where these are the gaps that label services fits in to just make a whole story. So sometimes we reach out and then I would say there are companies, one being ours, that also offers it as like an add-on. Hey, I love the way you've executed for Zlatan, for Bella Shmurda, for Chike. Those are ONErpm artists, by the way. I would like to, you know, also have you handle that, you know, and in that case, we come up with some form of agreement where we provide label services to you as an artist.
Okay. Seeing as, you know, you've been doing this for a while now, what's the most shocking thing you've encountered working in the music business?
First of all, I learned to not be shocked anymore. I think that's the first shocking thing that shocked me. To not be shocked. But I think maybe with young artists, because you experienced a viral moment, you feel it's going to happen again. I'm like, how? You work again like that viral moment did not happen. And you know, I think that's something that's interesting to me. Like, there's nobody I mean, it's not like frying eggs. When you fry egg, you know what you get. With today's African music, you know, industry, the barrier, I was telling a friend that the barrier for entry in music now in Africa is low. It's lower than it used to be. You wake up tomorrow, there's a viral sound or TikTok is released, it has featured Wizkid. My point is, it is easier to break. It is easier to actually break past. Of course, sustaining is a different conversation, you know, all of that. But never, I think one thing that has been shocking is when artists feel like, since I've done it before, I can do it. This next song is a hit. No, it's not automatic. You invest, if not more, you know, energy into ensuring you don't fail the fans that you surprised with that last hit, you know. I think that's something that's been interesting to me. I see that happen a few times with artists.
Okay, as we wrap up, what do you think the future of Afrobeats now? Because I think if you look at everything, we are still trending. Our music is still going viral across and all of that, but it's not the same way it was in 2020 when we had a lot of breakout artists like the Thames, the Omale, the Burna Boy, Ye, and all of that. Do you think that this trying to appeal to a global audience or global markets has changed the sound, and is that a good thing for Afrobeat?
I don't like this question because I don't think it's something one person has the answer to.
Yeah.
And also because I don't think, okay, if I were to answer this from a data scientist perspective, I don't think 5 years is enough time for trial, for failures and successes. Thankfully, we had cool successes. If this is a downtime, then so be it. It's 5 years is not enough for, I mean, if we consider other genres and how long it took for, let me see, for pop to get established, it was not 5 years. It's taken longer for rock and roll, for those type of I'm using established with quotes now, genres to get to know what,
to get the foothold.
I'm not saying we're being hard on ourselves. It's good to check ourselves here. Hey guys, we're not doing well. But I also do think 5 years is too soon to also start saying, oh, we're failing. I do not think so. I think we're learning. I think the sound is evolving for good reason, and then in 10 years time, let's now be able to say, oh, we did not do right, because we've given ourselves that's enough time for I would say, for a genre to be established. If we look side by side with older genres, it took years for them to for them to be established, and then they could look back and say, in 20 years, this has happened, that has happened. But I think Afrobeat is still growing. We should cut ourselves some slack. Of course, do better, but hey, we're still growing. It's fine to make mistakes.
I think I will have to agree with you there, because I was at a party recently, and they were playing music from the 80s. That's pop music from the 80s, 90s, and I saw the impact of dance hall. So I think I agree with you that Afrobeat is definitely going to evolve, develop, and change the sound. We still don't even know what it's going to end up sounding like at the end of the day.
We have different definition of Afrobeat.
Interesting. What would you say are some of the major investments that labels or label services undertakes that artists and possibly the public take for granted? Because this is usually the bane of contention when they start to recoup and the artist feels like, you know what, this is not a good deal for me. Sometimes some people want to take 70, 80, 90%. So what are some of those investments that are made on an artist that justifies those kind of numbers?
I would say it varies per contract, per establishment, because what label services means for a music distribution company is different from what label service as an offering means for a full-fledged, a record label in that sense. But baseline definitely would be one, depending on the scale, the level of the artist. Or we discovered you, we were taking a stroll down, I don't know, Joelekba, and we heard somebody freestyling. Yeah, we took you
from scratch.
Exactly. We changed, we gave you clothes, we changed your brand, we showed you who you should be branded like, you told us who you liked, and we morphed that into, so that's showing like from a ground zero to so to be fair, if I tell you 91.5 and it's because I'm taking a gamble. What if you don't stick? And there are so many that haven't stuck, and money has gone in, people. And there's one teeny weeny mistake that it might not be a mistake, but it's something that should be looked into. Artists feeling like all I know is music. Yes, but you've not had your moment yet. So from now till then, what will you be doing to eat, to sustain, to live?
Do labels typically encourage artists to do that?
Because why? Again, depends on the phase. May not be a job. Well, a sort of living, a form of sustenance. Because when all you're after is like the next paycheck from the label, the next, and you've not started recouping, it puts a strain on the label. Because as they're giving you the check, they're like, you've not started bringing back money. You've not, and there are people who are not comfortable living that way as well. As an artist, I think it invariably affects your creativity. It does, because you feel like before I can buy food stuff, I need to
wait on
write an invoice and upkeep, and it invariably still affects you. So it's like, find one thing, something that can get you some kind of money from somewhere that you can live depending on the level of artist it is. I know there are people where there is no choice actually, but again, just seeing the magnitude of the investments that labels have to put into breaking an artist that might not break, or that might break and unbreak. On break being like you have a moment and then it's not sustained, and I've made a lifelong commitment. You've had one moment, it even changes the artist. They're beginning to work with a different swagger, which is even great. But it's like having your head on straight and saying, oh, I've gotten one song right, on to the next one, and then knowing the label is still there to support you through that next one and the ones to come. So sometimes you can't blame anyone who feels it's music business is low. It's like it operates almost like a loan business.
Yes, you have to pay
I've
back.
seen that this business, your music has prospect. Here is X amount, right? Repay me. I will be taking the money back to myself as your music begins to sell.
Yeah.
When you pass what you're supposed to repay me, then we begin to split royalties or something. So it's like I'm banking on you for the future. So imagine if that future never materializes, but you've collected the money. So it definitely puts a strain. So you can't blame anyone.
And there's this question I want to get your own perspective, because I've asked someone before. The numbers vary, but I just want to know what the ballpark is. How much would you say it costs to blow an artist today?
It varies
from relative obscurity.
Funny, I worked on like an Excel sheet recently, but it actually varies even by gender. It costs more to break a female artist.
You guys cost more generally in life, so we're not surprised.
Than it is to break a male one. But I mean, I'm not going to don't be one that they said was from this person's mouth. They said with $100,000 you can break an artist,
but it depends on who is behind the marketing too. Exactly.
Actually,
so it will definitely vary, but from your perspective, maybe what you've done and you've seen the results from, what would you say is a number?
$250,000.
$250
within a time frame, like
how long?
Within 6 to 9 months.
6 to 9 months
to break.
We don't know you, but now everybody knows that one song.
From your hair, your makeup, to going to the studio, to the music videos, to digital ads, to the
Is this across multiple singles or just one song?
Oh, multiple, like let's even put like 2 EPs,
two
singles, 2 EPs.
Okay.
So EPs are mini albums, so it's like something like that.
Okay.
And then look at all the blogs, seeing the interviews, the outfits you wear there, the champagne, I don't know what they pop in clubs, like what you pop there, so that they will now video you popping it, and post you, and they will now pay the person posting you,
publicist and all of that.
Like it's curated image crafting, pretty much, everything, and then the music has to be good. Sometimes you pay artists to feature you. I'm just saying, like, it really, that's just a very rough figure, not saying probably works,
and that's modest. Okay. All right, so you heard it. That's not to dampen your dreams if you don't have 250k, but I mean, if you want to fast track it, that's what you'll be looking at.
With good music.
Yes, with good music. Otherwise, you have to do it organically, and keep your fingers crossed, go and fast and pray, and hope to blow. But thank you so much, Blessing. It's been an interesting conversation. We can go on and on, but I have to let you go. Thank you for joining us on the show today.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I had fun.